Hey to the most amazing nurses. It is Dr. V here with Morning Infusion with Dr. V podcast, where we are intentional about teaching nurses how to work from anywhere around the world, making money and owning your own time, building profitable nurse coaching and consulting businesses. You will hear from amazing guests that have grown their companies and want to share insight into how you can do the same to change the face of healthcare as we know it. If you want to grow your businesses and leverage your knowledge as a nurse to grow wildly successful businesses at the top, instead of working your way to the top, head on over and join our Millionaire Nurse CEO group on Facebook, where you can ask questions and get updates on our live and virtual events to help you grow your businesses. So good morning, everyone. So we have the amazing Dr. Cleveland that is here, and she's going to be talking about, because we have the Millionaire Nurse CEO conference that's coming up. Listen, you don't want to miss that, okay? Because it is going to be amazing. Our goal has always been, number one, to have nurses create impact within the healthcare industry, but also for you to make some money in it as well. So, Dr. Cleveland, so before she introduces herself and tells you who she is, I want you to like, share, and comment on the podcast. If you're on Spotify or Apple, if you could download the podcast, that gives us more reach. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be phenomenal as well. And it's going to be an amazing conversation, because Dr. Cleveland is absolutely one of the most interesting people I've ever met. I love her. We are good friends. We've been good friends for a long time. And so I'm incredibly thankful that she is here. So now, Dr. Cleveland, tell us who you are in your own words.
So, hey, Dr. B, thanks for having me. Hey, everybody. I'm Dr. Sandra Cleveland. I am CEO of Tribe Consulting, where I do a few things. So I am a AI expert and ChatGPT certified, so expert with that. And so one of the things I do is help incorporate AI ChatGPT into your businesses. And so that is a whole nother ball game in terms of things that we're going to talk about with it. But I'm also a DNP coach. So for those of you who know me as Dr. Sandra, I'm up in these streets as Dr. Sandra. And my mission is to get all my future doctor nurses focused, moving, and finished with their DNP projects and programs, because we need to be on the other side of this game.
I love it. So we're going to go back just a little bit, because I want you to tell everyone kind of the reason why. Because typically whenever you start a business, one of the things that you start the business for, the reason why you start the business is because of the fact that there is something that has happened in your life that has instigated.
Yes.
So
yes.
Tell me what happened in your life that was the reason why you wanted to do this.
Okay, so I'm going to start the DNP piece first, because when I first started business, you guys, the DNP, I have been in nurse academia forever and ever. I'm in. When my students ask me how long I've been in there, I tell them it's since the 20th century. That's all you need to know. But when I was going through school at the time for my program, I had gotten through, and I was going through a PhD program at the time. DNP really wasn't that prevalent then. And so when I was going through a PhD program, it was a brick and mortar program. I got through all the coursework, and the way a PhD program is set up, you do all your coursework. You have to do 2 qualifying exams that will then allow you to do your dissertation. So I had done all my coursework. I had done the first qualifying exam, but I was pregnant with my daughter at the time. And I ended up being on bed rest for 8.5 months, you guys. So I literally had to take leave of absence from the school for that full academic year, essentially. Well, when I came back from the program, I essentially got ghosted. And so from all the key people that I needed to be able to move forward. And so by that time, my time expired, right? And so I was like, you know what? I got really sad about it, and then I got mad. And the Detroit in me, there was still that undercover Detroiter in me, and I was like, we're not going to play, we're not going out like that. And so when I went over to I found another program, literally got into the program, talked to the person within the next day, got my schedule figured out, and I was in the next course arrangement within the next week because they were not going to stop me. And so I essentially, guys, had to take most of my courses over. But what I felt was there was undercover blessings in it because I was teaching face to face in that type of environment. And so being in an online course environment, it's like, oh, okay, I can see how this can be done. And so I was like, okay. And so that got me to do online course teaching. And I've been in that game for years. And the other thing for me is that in the brick and mortar location for my PhD topic, it was essentially kind of chosen, like the pathways that I was essentially allowed to do. And so I had more freedom in what I wanted to do for my PhD topic when I went to the new program. And so I ended up doing stuff on educational technology. And I found out that I loved it. That I was doing it in my, I was already doing it for work because of survival mechanism, truthfully. And so I was realizing, oh, this is really cool. Like I could really kind of get into this. And I was, figuring out why folks who are online educators could be, still be hesitant to use technology. And so I found that I was kind of that resource person for a number of individuals in learning how to incorporate technology in their thing. So out of all of that, I still became Dr. Sandra Cleveland. And so for all my friends, y'all call me Sandra. For those who got on my last nerve, okay, it's love in my heart when I say that. I am Dr. Cleveland. It's okay. It'll be all right. So that's kind of my story with it. But part of that led me to the first business. And when I joined with Dr. V, my first business was really DMP coaching because I was, later on, I became a program director. I was a DMP faculty member for years and years and been there for a while. So I knew how to build the curriculum. I knew, the accreditation pieces. I knew, most importantly, for my students, how to get them through. And I was doing it different. And so that's what brought it to the game. My students were finishing their program. That's what brought me to DMP coaching because I kept seeing that many of us were struggling to get through the program. And part of it was just even knowing what to do, what it even meant. Like right there, right? Like half the battle is understanding the nuances of the piece. And if there's no one there to necessarily tell you that, you're spending time and money being stuck in a program that you've desired to do for years, and you're just spinning your wheels. And I didn't want to see that. I wanted to see us get to the other side.
I love it. I'm grateful for you because I actually referred you to one of my friends, and now she's Dr. Keisha's 5E. And so, and because when people ask me about that, I say, well, Dr. Cleveland is definitely the one for you. Now, I had an editor that luckily it was just by the grace of God that my editor also had a doctoral degree. And so she was the one that kind of got me through. But I'm telling you, when you walk into that process, especially that last process, because ain't nobody tell me, okay? Y'all all probably already knew, okay? But I ain't know, all right? I didn't know that you had to go in there and write a whole doggone book. I was like, what is this?
Right.
Like a 5-chapter book, right? And so I was like, this absolutely is crazy. And so I never wanted to write a book. Of course, I've written, a couple since then. But anyway, at that time, that was not my desire. And go into that process and then not only check your grammar, your citations, like you got to have them right. Like I was just like, this is shenanigans right here. And then also the nuances of actually doing the project, right? What it is huge, right?
Yeah. It's really being able to find your voice in the midst of speaking academia. That's part of the battle. Like, how do you find your voice in this research? And so I was trying to help folks like balance that aspect of it too, because we can have passion for a project, but if we don't have purpose and we don't have a plan, it's still just basically just sitting in that program. And so I'm trying to get you to the other side. That's the whole mission. Like we can do this and bring out something that is rigorous, worthy, and something that you would be proud of when you get out of there.
And at the end of the day, the reality is that there's a certain percentage of people that never make it through their DNP program.
Absolutely.
Certain percentage that never make it to that doctoral program. So Dr. Cleveland is well needed. Now, we're going to talk about the Millionaire Nurse CEO conference because
Yes.
it's amazing, and I cannot wait. Like it's like this year is just going to be so different. We have 4 speakers, we have 5 altogether, including myself. But we're going to be talking about some specific things, and so we're going to talk with each speaker on the podcast. But one of the things I wanted to talk with you, Dr. Cleveland, is about AI. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a post the other day that said that he's actually my cousin. He said that AI is I don't know whether he used the word scary, but he was like, I'm not sure why they're pushing this on us. And the reality is that AI is almost like the internet.
Yes.
It's here. It's not going anywhere. Okay.
Yep.
Like the NVIDIA, for example, which is an AI company, like they are a $1 trillion company, like they've surpassed Apple. And so because of that, we need to understand how it works, and we need to understand how to embrace it so that we can be at the front of the game as opposed to lagging behind like I was on the internet because, I had dial-up, because it was a whole hot mess, right? And so tell us, what are some of the misconceptions about AI?
That's a great question. So I challenge everybody. Back in the day, how many of you had Encyclopedia Britannia? So like I'm just saying. So how many of us have that now? And we don't have that now because how many of us are using Google search? Right? Google back in the day, when we did the search back in the day, we were all like, I'm not putting nothing out there whatsoever. And now we cannot do without it. And so AI is just like that on steroids. That's the way I kind of think of it, is really trying to look at the umbrella of AI. And AI is artificial intelligence, and it's incorporating basically how do we do human-like actions and responses within the environment. So it is something that, for our standpoint, especially as business owners, we can incorporate and take care of some of those things that we were not thinking about taking care of before, or we are repeatedly doing over and over and over again, living in our business 24/7.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now tell me, what are, like, if someone is just getting into AI,
Yes.
what are some of the things that, what is the first thing that they should do?
The first thing you should do is one thing.
I love it.
That's the thing. I think one of the things that overwhelms us is because we see AI coming out everywhere. So I want you to pick one source. Like I said earlier, I'm a Chat GPT. In terms of it, I started off like when I really started honing in on stuff, Chat GPT was my initial baby that I honed in on. And that's because I just wanted to understand what was going on. The second piece of advice is use the free option. You do not need the pay option yet, you guys. You need to see what it's about and what it can do. And so when you're thinking about, and I'm using Chat GPT as an example, but when we look at AI, think of AI as a bicycle wheel, and all the different spokes within that bicycle wheel are different ways that AI can be used. So we may see AI in terms of text-based stuff, which is what Chat GPT does. We may see AI that can create images, which you will see some sources like DALL-E use. And we'll talk about some of these things at the conference. That's what's going to be so cool, right? And so when we're looking at these sources with AI, you guys, I just want you to pick one. I want you to pick one, and I want you to start from the things that you would start if you did a Google search. That's what I want you to do. So even if you want to see the difference between the two, put the question that you have in Google search and see what answers you come up with that. Then I want you to do the exact same question in Chat GPT and see what answers come up with it, because you need to see the difference with it. And so once you do that, then you can start furthering on and learning how to, quote unquote, talk to whatever AI, whether it's Chat GPT or whatever source it is, because basically we are telling it what to do. And that's one of the big things I want us to get out of it. We are telling it what to do. And so one of the things that we will be learning how to do during the session is how do we talk to it so it can get out what we were trying to get there? Like, what are we trying to get out of that? And how does it produce it? And then how can we then use it for our businesses, right?
I love that. I love that, because one of the things that, first of all, with ChatGPT, it has it learns who you are, right?
Yes.
So it starts to spit out things based off of whoever your customer avatar is, right?
Yep.
So that's one thing that I love about it. But also the fact that, there are a lot of people that you probably would have hired in the past, and you can go in and you can use all the different ones. Once you use the one, then you can use the second one, and then you can start to use those in order to create whatever images or whatever you need in order to put it out there so that you can stay top of mind. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. In addition to that, it's not even just if you choose to end up hiring someone, even with using that stuff, you can use the ChatGPT or whatever AI to ask them and know what is expected of that role. Like, some of those things are things that we need to pay attention to. So I may not necessarily want to do all of that, but I need to know how to do it. And I may start off with it. And when I hand it off to whatever team member that I have, I know what to expect with it. I know what should be coming out of that.
And I love too, because there's an app that we use on, like, whenever we do meetings, right?
Yeah.
And so I do that. So I will have that record exactly what I say, right? And then I'll download the transcript. I put it in ChatGPT and I'll say, look, ChatGPT, give me a standard operating procedure for it. Because whenever you start hiring people, the thing that you're going to learn is that one person is going to do that one job. But then you want to have an SOP, a standard operating procedure, just in case that person is no longer there to do that job, so that it's not person specific. It is job specific, so that you can grow your teams as you need to. Yeah. I love it. So we're going to go to commercial real quick, and we'll be right back.
I remember being a stressed out nurse, barely keeping it together. Then I brought like-minded nurses wanting to actually make healthcare better for other nurses. At a conference that promises you can build a successful online business, it sounded too good to be true, but I created it anyway. And guess what? Now nurses have businesses where they have so much time on their hands that they are constantly traveling, going on endless excursions, while all they do is walk and walk and walk. They say it's exhausting. And don't get me started on cooking up new recipes as a family. It's like a fun kitchen adventure. But then every meal turns into a science experiment. They end up with tired taste buds and a fridge full of what were we thinking leftovers. And your kids, they grow up thinking that success and financial stability are normal. How are we supposed to teach them about struggle and hardship? And your phone is like a torture device. Buzzed in with notifications and new clients wanting to work with you. But it gets worse. Conference pulls you into a circle of go-getters who are all about chasing their dreams. Seriously, who needs that much positive energy? So if you're thinking about coming to the Millionaire Nurse CEO conference, where unfortunately I'll be speaking, don't do it. You might end up working by the pool, earning a living from your laptop, and never looking back. But hey, if you insist on gaining the skills to take care of you and your family for the rest of your life, consider yourself forward.
So if you want to learn those skills, because truly, I mean, we're not tied to a location. We're able to go wherever we want to go, and we still work. We still provide quality instruction to our clients, and it is an amazing life. I at one point in time, and I just tell y'all because what happens to me, I need to let y'all know. Okay, so people will talk about you. They be like, well, you're trying to take nurses from the bedside. Well, if you don't like liver, are you gonna go? Are you gonna try to go get some liver? You probably are not, right? So if you never wanted to not work at the bedside, then you won't do that. You'll stay at the bedside. Right? And so anyway, so we're going to talk about the AI. I just want y'all to know that you're going to get, the crab in barrels. They're going to come out to you. All right. So now tell me one of the things that can AI help you entrepreneurs understand their target audience and refine their marketing strategies? So tell me a little bit about how it can do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So AI has the capability of you identifying based on what you think your business is about. So let me actually take a step back if you're okay with this.
Yeah.
It's not even knowing how to talk to them, but you need to know who you are in your business as well. So AI will help you identify what your business is about, what's your mission, your vision. You are helping to give it ideas, and stuff that you are putting into it is helping steer it towards it, but it will help create that. So you need to know who you are in your business before you can find your target customers. But then now once we're figuring out who we are and ready to, reach those target customers, AI has the capability of helping us to find the characteristics of our customer, the psychology behind them, what their daily habits are, who they look like. Like when I'm talking to a DMP student, and like, what does that look like? What does that individual look like? That person's stressed. They are usually in a certain age group. They are tired. They are frustrated. They just want to get done. They have some of their funds, but it is giving me a story about them. It's not just spitting out like bits of characteristics, but it is telling me, hey, this is Maria. This is what Maria looks like and who she is and what she's thinking and what she's probably doing. And so we can use that in terms of our advertising, our discussions with them. Because when I'm speaking to you as a DMP coach, for instance, I want them behind the scenes saying, yeah, like she's speaking to me in this process. And AI will help us be able to do that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now tell me, why do you think people are scared of it?
We're scared of the unknown. It's as simple as that. Sometimes we're scared of the unknown, and we already have some movies out there. Like we have iRobot, and we have, AI back in the day. It's been about 20 years now that were predictor things, but AI has been out there that long, you guys. We are just being made more aware of it, and we are getting more access to it. But if you think about the stuff we use across the board, there has probably been some AI incorporated in it, whether it's us nurses at work, in our work environment, it's already been incorporated in some of the things that you're doing. And so one of the things we need to do is get past the fear. We need to understand what it is, why it's there, what it's going to be looking like, not just now, but towards the future, and how we can then get ahead of the game. And that's why it's so cool that Dr. V is even having this topic at the conference. Like we need to bring this stuff to the table because let's be real, nursing is really reactive to what has happened. And so we get frustrated because we woulda, shoulda, coulda done something. But if we can get ahead of the game and control what we have in terms of our nursing world, our life, our business, AI will help us do that. And we want to strategically use it. And I think that's one of the things that with this conference is going to bring value with it. All the things that are being brought to the table are things that it's not just we're going to talk pie in the sky, but we're going to talk how we can now, like we are going to use that stuff now. So you can see it and be comfortable with using that next step. And it's about the next step.
I love it. So now, you've been to the conference before. So what is one of the things that, what was one of your biggest transformations from coming to the conference?
Just one. Really? Okay. All right, let me think one. You know what? So for those of you who know me, I'm a relatively private person. So it kind of takes a little while to get to know me. And some of you may be like me, where you are kind of a little bit introverted. And when you go into a conference environment, the wallflower status is kind of an okay status to be, because I'm going to observe things and see what's going on and all of that. Dr. B, no, we're not having none of that up in there. We were involved from the moment we came through the door, and it wasn't in a sense of feeling uncomfortable with it. It was your family, We are here now. We are all got this. We all have the same goal, that we are going to use the sisterhood, this brotherhood, to make sure that we are all advancing in our businesses. Whether it's the next step is figuring out what your business idea is, or whatever the next stage is, there is something for everyone there to make it happen. And so transformational for me was being able to say, I am a millionaire.
Mhm.
That was huge for me, because growing up, money, even though I didn't think of it, when I think of the habits of my family, and that money did have a impact, like the money talks behind the scene, or the lack of money talks could be just as influential. And I needed to get past that breakthrough, which happened there, for me to say, you know what, I am a millionaire, and mean it. That's a big thing right there.
I love it. So tell them about all the fun that we have.
Because I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. We had a good time, y'all. So, yeah, like I told you, the introvert was there. The first day that didn't stay there long. Dancing machine from that point on. We had a good time. We enjoyed each other's company. It was really, and it wasn't not just. It was fun, but it was with favor. It was with favor. And what I mean by that is that God's grace was in there. So praying woman in here, and we were bringing it to each other. We were bringing faith, we were bringing fun, and it was family up in there. And so it was really a great place to be. It's not like other conferences. Let me be real clear with that. I've been in nursing academia forever and ever, amen. And I guarantee I always have something. I sound so bad, y'all. I always have something underneath my phone or something when I'm at a conference, because I already know what's going to happen. Like, it's nothing new. We already know. I'm like, dear Lord, let me get through this conference. Okay, that was not the case here. We had a good time the whole time. We were hyped for every speaker that came up there. We were hyped at everybody at the table where they were talking about their stories. Everybody gets to share their story in this process. Dr. V, y'all, Dr. V brings it. I promise you. She freaking brings it. Like, we need to understand that you are going to get everything that she can give you, and use it. And we apply stuff from that point. We learn not just the education, but how to execute it as well. And we put that into practice. And so that is such a key thing with it.
I love it. I love it. So if somebody's on the fence of coming, what would you say to them?
Man, get off that fence, hurry up and get your plane ticket, get your train ride, your car ride, whatever it is. And not just you, but bring some of your friends too. Like, it's not just you about this, because sometimes, coming by it yourself may feel a little uncomfortable. But you know what? This is the time to do something for you. We do something for everybody else all the time. And you may have been thinking about your business for months, even years, and you just need somebody to help you move it. Dr. V is going to help you move it, you guys. She's going to get you to move forward with everything. So bring yourself, bring your friends. Trust that you are allowed to. If you need permission in your head to say, I can spend this money on me, we are giving you permission right now. Please go ahead and take care of you. Because we promise you, when you get here, we're going to take care of you.
Yeah, for sure. It is an amazing time, and we just want, at the end of the day, the whole reason why I even started the company was because I saw nurses that were struggling and that didn't really understand how to make an impact. They wanted to make the impact. They wanted to make the difference, but they couldn't. But we also want you to make money as well.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, we all need some money in order to be able to live. And so I thank you, Dr. Cleveland, because you have been very instrumental and been amazing in it all. We are also, we're working on CEUs right now for the conference. So ideally, we want to offer at least 10 CEUs for the conference. So if that's something that, you want to have, because we all need CEUs for our nursing licenses. So this is one of the things that we're working on as we speak. So thank you, Dr. Cleveland. normally have some rapid fire questions, but I know you have to go. And so, again, like, share, comment. Give us some feedback as to what we're doing good, bad, or indifferent. And then we can make a difference in this world of nursing. So you ladies and gentlemen, you have an amazing rest of your day. And if you want to join the Millionaire Nurse CEO conference, you can go to V as in Victor, P as in Paul, nursing.com under the conference tab, and you can go ahead and register for the conference. And we look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.